Obviously excited about the win, excited about getting to 7 wins, excited about getting to 6-1 in the league. Third time in the last 4 years that we've won 6 league games. We had done that once in the previous 11 years. In 2010, we won 6 league games, but from 2005 to 2016, we weren't close to winning 6 league games. So doing that 3 times in 4 years is a good thing for our program, good thing for recruiting, good thing for a lot of things. The game don't feel much different. I watched it a bunch of times. Don't feel much different than I felt Saturday night after what I watched during the game. Defense was really exceptional all night. We blew one coverage in the third quarter, and they took advantage of it, just like everybody does in Division I. When you don't do things the right way, their team's plenty good enough to take advantage. We ran the ball really well. Our tailbacks had 246 yards rushing and almost 6 yards a carry for the game. And obviously, right down to the last first down was key, getting that last first down, not giving them a chance with about 50 seconds left with a chance down 3. I thought our special team was just okay. We've been really good on ST. It wasn't our best night. We weren't terrible on ST, but we've been fairly dominant on ST, and we certainly weren't dominant Saturday. Akron did a nice job. We had one nice return to start the second half, and we did some nice things punt return-wise. But overall, we were just okay on special teams. And obviously, just like we talked Saturday, we were very inefficient throwing the football. We dropped back 25 times and had 103 yards, threw 2 interceptions. One of them was returned for a touchdown, and so it really was, Sarah, when you really evaluate how you played, you're up 17-3 at half. You're in really good shape. You're moving the ball in the third quarter with an opportunity to go up 3 scores with how our defense was playing. Probably ball game over at that point. And then you throw a pick 6, and they hit us with a blitz, and we weren't protected. And Brett's getting his head knocked off as he throws it, and credit to Akron with a nice little scheme we hadn't seen, and really good job. Their backer's really good, cops out and makes a big play, and it kind of changes the whole complexion of the game. And I thought Akron defense played well. I thought coming in there, pretty solid group. I thought they played well. But if we throw the ball with any efficiency at all, you probably win by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and you feel better about how the outcome is. But so, again, more positives than negatives. We have 12 sacks. Ivan Pace has 6 sacks. That's a national record. We set a school record in sacks. And, again, if we're not playing their quarterback, who, in my opinion, is a really good player, we have 25 sacks. I mean, there's 10 sacks at least left on the table where we had 2 or 3 shots at him in the backfield, and some of them he ran for some yardage. I mean, he ran for first downs, and it wasn't one guy missing. There's probably 10 more opportunities. He's just really, really crazy athletic. So, again, we played from a lead, so they had to kind of resort to just throwing it. They couldn't run on us at all. You know what I mean? There was really no run game with the tailback at all on us. So there was tons of opportunities, but it was awesome. We got them. We had 5 sacks in the last 2 drives when the game was on the line. We're up 20-17. We have 2 straight possessions where if they get in field goal range, we're going to overtime and we had 5 sacks in those 2 drives, and I think Ivan had all of them or almost all of them. So him and Lonnie have been a huge difference. Obviously, Costin and Cam coming in the year, we knew Dean Lemon had a good day rushing for us. Kimpler had a good day rushing for us, but obviously Lonnie and Ivan have made a major, major impact. The biggest play of the game, and it is as special as game as Ivan have, Lonnie probably does the biggest game of the game. They're 2nd and 4 on our 32. They're basically in field goal range. They got a good kicker, and Lonnie beats his guy and gets tackled to the ground, and they get a holding penalty, push him back to 42. Then Ivan sacks him on next down, and next thing you know, we're forcing a punt when they were actually in field goal range to tie the game. So those 2 kids obviously made a major, major impact on where we're at this season. Been both dynamic for us rushing the passer, and like I said, Lonnie's had huge sacks in most of our conference wins, and obviously Ivan's been coming on like crazy late, and Ivan was very impactful in the OU win, and obviously crazy impactful in a really, really close win.
All right, questions?
Given Lonnie and Ivan's production on such limited snaps too, are you looking for more ways to get them on the field going forward?
Yeah, and again, you're always looking for kids to put them in position to be successful. As younger guys are not experienced, are they our best first and second down guys? If we know there are teams throwing the ball, they're our best guys. If there's the option of run, pass, and zone reads and power reads and all the things that DNs have to do, obviously first and second down, Cam and Kimpler and Dean Lemon take the lion's share, and those guys get a little bit first and second down. Obviously, last game was a little different because we knew they couldn't run it, So it became more of a third down game all the time, so they got more opportunities to play. So, but they're coming. They're going to be really good first and second down players. I mean, Ivan's going to end up playing. I mean, Ivan is a linebacker. Ivan's going to start a linebacker for us in the near future, probably as soon as next year. He's just, on third down, you put your best pass rushers. We play D ends at D tackle. You play linebackers at D end. So Lonnie's going to be a really good D end and an every down D end for us in the near future, and is doing some nice things on first and second down right now. Ivan will probably throughout his career be a starting backer, but be a guy on third down. He bumps from backer to being a pass rush guy, because on third down you can find other guys who drop in coverage. And it's hard to find guys that rush a quarterback like Ivan. So I can find somebody dropping the hook on third down. I think I could drop in the hook on third down with my sandals on, but I certainly can't rush a quarterback like Ivan. So I think this will be, because he's a fantastic linebacker as a young kid. He's still learning the ropes. There's a lot to, but he's a backup backer, but he's becoming a force as a pass rush guy.
Any plans on resting anybody this week?
No. Just again, we didn't feel good about how we threw the ball, but there's a lot of things we move forward. There's a lot of things we did really good. Our running game continues to evolve. We get in chunk runs with Tyree and Bester, and our defense can. We just want to keep going and keep getting better in certain areas. Ivan Pace wasn't even part of our third down pass rush team 4 weeks ago. And so we're still improving. And so we just want to keep going and keep playing. And obviously this is a huge game, trying to get to 7-1 in the league. If you get to 7-1 in the league, you got the best record in the league regardless of East, West, North, South. We haven't won 7 games in the league very often. It's hard to do. Not many teams last year. Only one team won 7 in the whole league. It's kind of the nature of our league. So we're trying to finish out the season right and keep momentum going and just keep playing good football.
To have a freshman like Ivan come in and produce this quickly, what does that say about where you've gotten recruiting to at this point in your career at Miami?
Yeah, and obviously when you come in, you're 0-22 and you're as bad as we were for a 4-year period, I don't want to take anything away from our first recruiting class, because our first recruiting class did all the dog work, went through all the misery, and we obviously recruited kids in that class that just graduated a year ago as our first class, and they're the ones that we already had the best record in the league when they left over the last 22 games. So I'm not taking, but we have been talking since January. This is the most talented group of kids we had, and they're probably even more talented, I thought. But I've been saying, and I'm not taking anything away from the kids that turned this program back around, but we just knew, because we were winning, because we were 16-6 in the MAC, and because we have these nice facilities, you could go recruit a better player than when you're 0-22 and you got garbage facilities, and we did, and we knew this class we've been talking about, this is far and away the most talented group. And then obviously it's borne out on the field. We've got 8 freshmen. If you talk about Brett and Caleb Schaefer and Rusty Feth and James May, talking about major impacts, from your starting quarterback to 2 starting guards to James May, who's made major impact as a true freshman. Defensively, obviously Lonnie and Ivan, obviously Austin Ertles, played a ton of snaps, and obviously Luke Boldens hasn't played a ton of defense, but he's on almost all our special teams and has made you talk about 4 guys on each side of the ball, talk about 8 out of 20-some kids are making major impacts as true freshmen. So it's been huge, and obviously we've needed, we needed that. We lost a lot of seniors. We talked about, our first class, we redshirted a lot of kids. Our second class, we kind of played them because we were trying to get good. So those classes kind of blended together. We almost graduated 2 classes a year ago. There's a lot of 4-year kids and 5-year kids in that class, just the way it kind of melted together. So it was a big void, and obviously we needed some young kids. But it's just hard to come in and play right away unless you're really good, and these kids are obviously pretty damn good.
Is there also a certain maturity level that comes with that, being able to produce right away?
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects, how they're raised at home, because you're getting thrown into fire, and what program you played in high school. I don't think it's the end-all, be-all, but those kids got thrown into Division I football in a tough situation, and you look at the programs they came from, they played in a lot of big games in high school, and there was very high expectations at their high schools. So it wasn't like, yes, it's a different level, but they were coming from kind of the highest level in high school of playing, trying to win state titles or playing in big games that, and playing in programs that winning is really important, that there's stress on these kids. So I think between what went on at home, there's a certain amount of toughness you have to come in as a freshman. There's a certain amount of confidence. It's not easy, and they're just how they were raised, I think is, You know, because I think there's other kids probably in the class just as talented, but just aren't as, like you said, as mature or just as mentally tough as those kids that are really competing and playing right now.
You get a couple extra days before you play Ball State. How healthy would you anticipate being for Ball State?
Yeah, we should be as healthy as, like, again, it's, you know, it started off, you know, we knew it's going to start off bad, and it did, and we weathered that storm, and somehow, like, you know, the first conference game, if you look back to Buffalo, having 4 of your top 6 old linemen out ain't awesome, you know, but as the year's gone on, it's kind of the way it is around here. We play some really big, strong, twitchy guys non-league, and we get beat up a little bit because our kids don't back down, but then as the year goes on, it just seems like we get healthier and healthier. And I've been saying for about 3 or 4 weeks, as healthy as we've been, Big, as healthy, like, and it just keeps. So we'll hopefully get Luke back. He's getting closer. We still got some time. You know, we're talking about another week from today, but he's already starting to run and open it up. So I mean, I think we'll be almost full go. We'll be as good as we've been. I know that. Yeah, and Mike played the whole game. Mike played the whole game. So Mike. So yeah, no, he should be fine. So we tried to, like, my plan was kind of hold Mike out. Mike wouldn't let me. Like, he came in the day before the game and basically said, and he took every rep. Like, he just forced his way. Like, you know, it's the same thing. You got to prove that you're healthy enough to play, and he more than did do that. And then the game day came in before we even met, and, like, he didn't ask me, just like, I'm playing. And he kind of looked at me like, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, Coach, I'm playing. Like, I practice all week, I'm fine. Like, I'm not. So, and again, that we have kids that rehab like crazy, and our medical people do a great job, but we also have kids that really want to play. He's like, I'm not giving up this game, Coach. You only get 12 of these. Like, I'm not. If I was hurt, I got you, but I'm good. Like, I'm going to play, and obviously we needed everybody to play that played. So,
Are we good? Nope, got one more over here.
What are some of the challenges that Ball State presents?
yeah, really, I mean, they're leading the league in rush offense, and everybody in this league can run the ball. Like, if you look at the stats, no one can defend the run in our league, and everybody can run it. So I don't know if no one can defend the run or everybody's really good at run, but you just look at the amount. I mean, the norm is most of the league's over 200 yards a game rushing, which is, that's when you rush it for over 200 yards a game, that's pretty good. So they're really, really good. They're really good up front. They run their mid zone, they run their counter, they run their inside zone. They got two tremendously talented tail. They really got three. Their third tailback doesn't get many touches. He's really good. He's the guy that returns kicks, and he's one of the best kick returners in the league. Plitt is, I always compare him to Gus, and I hope they take that as a compliment, because if they know what they got, just that type of play. Went to Loveland, won the state title, and just competitive, tough, can beat you with his legs, can beat you in arms. But the biggest thing is just his heart and his competitiveness. He just finds ways to help his team win. Very high efficiency throwing the ball. If you look, they don't throw it as much as some teams because they run it, but his efficiency, you know, their yardage maybe isn't as much, but their efficiency is really, really good throwing the ball. And then obviously Miller's been one of the best receivers in the league for 4 years. Hall is one of the most dangerous players in the league. They got a couple other really capable receivers. They got 2 or 3 tight ends and fullbacks. So they're really good on offense. Defensively is where they made their big, but in my opinion, they've been really good on offense for a couple years. I think this is the best they've been, but the record has led you to believe they're not. But they've been able to move the ball and produce yards and points, and they've been and they have all the kids back. Defensively is where I think they made really giant strides this year. They're just, the last few years, it felt like you could try to outscore them. You know, that they were giving up a bunch of points and giving up a bunch of yards, and you could try to keep their offense off the field. Where defensively, you know, they've really made strides. They're I think right behind us in pass efficiency, defense. We're like 1 and 2 in all the passing defense categories in the league. They got like 7 picks and 1 touchdown in league play given up via the air. So they've been obviously very stingy, and they've really improved their rush defense. I mean, it's night and day. We've run the ball. A lot of people have run the ball in the last few years, but that to me, so they've got all their guys back on a really potent offense. So they're really good on offense, and then their defense has really improved. And again, 3 weeks ago they're 3-0. They're the only undefeated team in the league. They just beat Toledo 51-7. They beat Northern Illinois at Northern Illinois, and then they've lost 3. You know, they're like the rest of us. They could be 6-0 right now. You know, they're 3-3, and it kind of like that's the league. That you win a tight one, you lose a tight one, you win a tight one, you lose a tight one. That's kind of been. I mean, they lose to Western, whatever, 37-34, and just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They lose to Central. They got Central down 17. They end up losing 41-38. You know, and just how the games are. If you look at the scores in this league, us and Buffalo are kind of the outliers. Everyone else, it's in the 30s or the 40s every week. That's how the games. There's a ton of offense in this league, and there's a ton of points being produced, and And then who else? They lost one other close one. So I mean, they're 3-0, and they played 3 good teams on their schedule, and they almost beat all 3 of them, but they barely lost, and they're sitting at 3-3. So they could easily, one more score here, one more stop here. They're sitting at 5-1 and getting ready to play in the MAC championship game. So they're good. They're kind of like I said. There's about 10 teams in this league that are pretty dang close, and they're certainly, if you look at their scores, they've either beaten you or they've played with all the best teams in this league within 3 points. So.
Jalen, got the chance to go to 8-4 this week. How would you describe the overall mood of the team?
I think everybody's happy. This is the first time since I've been here that we had this type of winning record. So I feel like everybody's just using this momentum to keep going forward.
Now, obviously, Coach won't want you to do this, but be honest. Have you looked at any bowl projections, and are there any bowls that you're hoping to go to?
Once we hit 6 wins, I was looking at them all. I was like, my people back home was keeping me updated. That keeps changing every week. I'm constantly looking. So after we had the 6 wins, I was definitely
Is there a bowl game that you're wanting to go to?
Bahamas.
A little bit of a closer game than expected against Akron. I don't want to call it a wake-up call, but it was a little bit of refreshing for the team for you guys to kind of make sure that you stay on top of things.
I think it was a wake-up call. I feel like we went in thinking our itch didn't stink at the end of the day, but they just gave us that recall that if we not on our A game, we can still get beat. It's not like we got our whole season set in stone. We still have to go out and perform. So they gave us that wake-up call for sure.
And then how are you feeling after a night where you touched the ball 20, 25 times?
I'm a little sore, I'm not going to lie to you. My body's a little beat up at the end of the day. We have a couple more extra days to get ready for Ball State, so that'll give me time to get treatment and stuff like that.
First of all, you've watched the films from Akron, is that right? What was the reaction as you guys watched Pace go nuts?
It was exciting. I mean, he's a young kid that has a lot of talent and a lot of potential, so we see a lot of it in practice. I mean, it's just exciting to see somebody that young with that much potential actually showcase it in front of everybody. And, I mean, everybody's excited for him. He broke NCAA regular school records, and, I mean, everybody was hyped for him.
Same question for you. Any bowl game specifically that you're wanting to go to?
Not specifically, no. I mean, I'm just glad that we could finally get to this position where we're not worrying about if we're even going to be bowl eligible or if we're going to a bowl game. I'm just happy to know that, like, everything's kind of, like, solidified and secured.